What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss this Saturday's main event between Dominick Reyes and Carlos Ulberg. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. We got a pretty cool main event this Saturday, light heavyweight division, with Dominick Reyes, who was looking to put his winning streak to 4, and we have Carlos Ulberg, who's a 4, 5, 6 fight winning streak in his own right, kind of battling his way to a title shot, kind of going through the ranks, where you have Reyes, who's making his resurgence after losing his title shot to John Jones, a fight that, 99% of people thought he won in a fight where I thought John won, but that's a whole different conversation, and I'm not even going to argue with anybody who thinks that he didn't win. Fight was that close, in my opinion. I have a constant conversation with a few friends, and even with one of my coworkers, where they all think Dominick Reyes won, and I honestly won't even argue with them on it, because if you do believe that, you have every right to think so. Well, after that, had the title shot against Jan Blachowicz, didn't go his way. Had the fight with Ryan Spann, didn't go his way. Had the fight with Yuri, didn't go his way. All in devastating knockout fashion, those last 3, right? And it really just seemed like, have we seen the end of Dominick Reyes? And it really just seemed like he was kind of getting in his own way. You know, that he let that John Jones loss kind of get to him. He was stuck in the past, wasn't living in the moment, hesitating, wasn't fighting freely. And we saw it in his performances. You know, he was getting flatlined. And since then, he has seemed to really get his confidence back. The win with Dustin Jacoby, Nikita Krylov, and who else? I don't have my glasses on. And Anthony Smith. So, like, not the biggest names in the world, but tough enough names. Guys who have, been hard opponents to handle for a lot of other opposition in the light heavyweight division. And for him, 35 years old, no longer the young buck, and going against Carlos Ulberg, who has been a prospect, but has never been considered the young buck. Like, I thought Ulberg was older going into this fight, but that just goes to show how long Reyes has been around. This is tough because you have Ulberg, who fights long, great kickboxing. His last fight didn't look so great. I thought that he didn't deserve the win. I thought that Jan Blachowicz deserved that victory. I just didn't think Ulberg did enough in that fight. Very hesitant, fought safe, didn't really take enough risks in that fight as he should have, but Jan's a fucking killer too, right? And I can see Ulberg trying to establish his range. I can see him having a really sweet check hook. I can see him catching Dominick Reyes with a check hook 100%. But also Reyes has like this really good ability of like drawing his opponents in and hitting him with a perfect cross, right? He has a great 2. I think the one that he got on Chris Weidman was really good. He has just this ability of just really being able to draw his opponents in, and he's really good at fighting off of his back foot. I don't want your fucking update. And he's just dangerous as ever. A natural athlete, grew up playing football. I think at 6'4", I think he played safety in college, which is like, it's really impressive to see a guy at 6'4", kind of as a ball hawk out there in the backfield. But I think that says a lot of his athleticism, his high jump, his awareness. Safeties, they're more known as like a secondary linebacker in a sense, so they have to break down plays, and they're looking at the game from a more of an analytical standpoint than a lot of the rest of the defenses. You can look at them as team captains, like a Buda Baker type of guy. And that's kind of what the safety position is, and I think that translates very well into MMA because they are already born thinkers. These are guys who are already having to break down the game of football. These guys can definitely break down the game of fighting. So I think that definitely takes Reyes along. I think that takes him further. If that makes any sense. I feel like I'm rambling at this point. But this is a tough fight. I'm going to pick Reyes just mainly as biased as a fan. I think he's more of a fighter, though, than Ulberg. I think with Carlos Ulberg, more of an athlete. Very good tactician, though. Very good kickboxer. Great kicks. Fights really well at range. Fights well on his back foot as well. But I just see Dominick being able to bite down more on his mouthpiece to get the job done over Carlos Ulberg. But if Ulberg gets the win, that gets him really close to a title shot, big victory over him. But I just think with his last victory over Jan Blachowicz, I never want to say the word exposed, but I feel like we see where he stands at in the light heavyweight division. All right, guys, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Who do you guys have in this main event? It's midnight. I have to be up in 5 hours. I'm drinking coffee. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But guys, let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this fight, on this main event. Do you have Ulberg? Do you have Dominick Reyes? I got Reyes. But guys, that's going to do it for today. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.